Thus saith the Lord God. Unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Seen a man rise from the dust, shit glorious in my sight. Never yield, I'm indebted to that old Lord Christ. Can't let them colors fly, only blood will suffice. Try to vibe my brethren, I'ma put it in his light. Is you gonna endure? Damn right, I need that white gold with them stones. Look like Cinderella and ice. Shit, the time until the bones are healed and we live again.
This shit right here for the cold-blooded killers and the gangsters vibe. But the hoes love it, break it for a $5 T. Spend a whole 100, no stunting. This is for the niggas that need more money. I done stopped the rebel from putting several in the casket. He throwing everybody involved if I ask it. So don't make me get a word. I'm scared of what he might do. Don't make me build a nerve. Down the alarm, feel like it's the beginning of the purge. Look, it's like I'm all out of options. Hard being a killer with a conscience. Ginger ale and ice with tequila talking nonsense. Cause beef ain't really no beef. Till there's no more sleep, do a drill, we do a drill. Ours Mozambique, 2 to the body, 1 to the head, fuck it, on repeat. 1 West, you know them cult leaders are running the street.
Seen a man rise from the dust, shit glorious in my sight. Never yield, I'm indebted to that old Lord Christ. Can't let them colors fly, only blood will suffice. Try to vibe my brethren, I'ma put it in his light. Is you gonna endure? Damn right, I need that white gold with them stones. Look like Cinderella and ice. Shit, the time until the bones are healed and we live again. Life changed with the seasons, all praise to the author. I got a limited power, war with me, why bother? I know Mr. Mayor in Chicago. Play, I drop shit like a toddler. Make that Glock speak like Tommy, leave him cold, call me Martin. I done seen Benjamin turn many men into monsters. Lay that lamb down, I feel like Benjamin Barker. Lord, I pray salvation sweet like peach cobbler. Right now I need a bankroll, think like Miss Parker. As I enter the darkness, the truth the only way. Death a slim chance, but it hit like Cody Ray. Heard that demon on my shoulder and I told him not today. So I try to stay focused, I ain't even boasting. Cause all that ghost shit hypnosis. And you ain't gotta talk shit when everybody know it. You ain't even riding or you talking, yeah, the bus boys are poets. It's a thin line between love and hate, that's why I got involved. Just pick this bad bitch up like Roddy Smalls. Threw that burden on my shoulder like Samoa Ross. Shit, I obeyed the orders, that's why I overcame it all. Seen a man rise from the dust, shit glorious in my sight. Never yield, I'm indebted to that old Lord Christ. Can't let them colors fly, only blood will suffice. Try to vibe my brethren, I'ma put it in his light. Is you gonna endure? Damn right, I need that white gold with them stones. Look like Cinderella and ice. Shit, the time until the bones are healed and we live again.
Test 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2. Salakia. Let me just make sure this audio is to up. Come, Most High in Christ. All right, so we good to go. Let's clap it up. Hey, shalom. Yahabashim Al Baraka Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathun, Bashim Al to all the sisters. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. You understand, been teaching the truth of this Bible since 1969, that so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native American Indians are the true Jews, the true Israelites of the Bible. You understand? And this is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class, of course, throughout the nation. But right now you're tuned in to the Brotherhood class for Durham, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas, Chapel Hill, Raleigh, you know what I'm saying? And, just the triangle area. All right. So I'm Precinct Officer 1000, Thabawan, holding it down until my Ottawa Officer 5000 arrives. Con. Most High in Christ. Con, we see y'all in the comments there in the chat. Again, if you have any questions of any kind, you online, just type it into the chat on YouTube or Facebook, and I should be able to see them. Right. And if I can answer them, then of course that's exactly what I'll do. If not, then we'll just save it for when Officer Iraq arrives. You know what I'm saying? If he has those breakdowns, he'll be able to provide those for you. So shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to Sister Matana. Shout out to Sister Sapayar. Shout out to Sister Lawaya. Shalom, sisters. Yahweh Shema Thun Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's a little interesting being here on a Tuesday like this. This is how it used to be. Hey, this is like a throwback. You know what I'm saying? You notice I didn't say until Captain Nyathak arrives, because our scripture breakdown class for North Carolina is now, back on Mondays, which is how it was, a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's back where it was, and now Tuesdays is going to be Brotherhood right here in Durham, North Carolina. All right. And all North Carolina. It'll be Brotherhood on Tuesday. All right. So we're going to get into a few topics. But first, before we get into anything, any questions in the room first, of course, and also online. If you got a question, just type it in. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all got any questions in the room, just go ahead and just raise your hand. And also, we started late. I want to say Salaki to everybody. We started late. We was having some technical difficulties, major technical difficulties, really. But Most High in Christ, we was able to fight Satan, you know what I'm saying, and get online so we can get this, you know what I'm saying, the message of the Most High, the word of the Most High, you know what I'm saying, through these airwaves. All right? Go ahead, brother.
Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a question on Romans 1, verse 18 through 25.
All right. Let me get there with you. Romans chapter 1.
Verse 18 through 25.
Okay. Go ahead, read it.
Just the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Verse 19. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Verse 21. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God,
Mm-hmm.
neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Verse 22. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Verse 23. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man,
Right.
and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 24. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness, Salakia,
Mm-hmm. Swap.
through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the creator,
Mm-hmm.
who is blessed forever.
Mm-hmm. So what's your question? Is this a breakdown of the whole thing, or is this in a specific part that's messing with you?
Yeah, it's a few parts, Salaki. It's a few parts.
Okay.
That's messing with me.
Got you.
Like verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
It reads, for the invincible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse.
Mm-hmm. So at the end of that part, you see that there's a colon there. Right after it says excuse, there's a colon. I want you to pay close attention whenever you see a colon in the scriptures, right? Because a colon in English basically means that whatever comes after it is explaining or detailing what came before it, right? So now if we want to know what this is saying, what comes after that should help us understand it. So now read verse 21.
Verse 21. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened.
So who did not glorify the Most High as God?
I want to say the Salaki. I want to say the Christian church.
No. Who became so? It said because that when they knew God, right? So that's a clue right there. Whoever we're talking about knew the Most High. Okay, what does it mean when they say they knew the Most High or knew God? See, that's a little tricky, right? Because everybody thinks they know God. Everybody thinks they have a relationship with God.
Salaki, is this talking about us?
Con.
About Israel?
Con. Because only we have a relationship with Most High to ever have known him in the first place. You know what I'm saying? The book, Most High said it himself when he said, I'm paraphrasing, when he talks about how he doesn't know the other nations. We're the ones who knew the Most High, right? But we didn't glorify him as the Most High. I mean, we didn't give him his due diligence. We didn't give him what he deserved for what we did, Salakia. Con. Go ahead. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful. Go ahead.
But became vain in their imagination. And their foolish heart was darkened.
Right, their hearts were darkened. Read on.
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
They became fools, right? How did they become fools? Read verse 23.
And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God.
They changed the glory of the uncorruptible God. What does that mean?
The Most High is perfect.
I'll take that, right? Uncorruptible, meaning he's perfect, but in the sense of, let's give the definition of uncorruptible, right? So I can explain it. You'll see when we read the rest of the verse what it means by uncorruptible. Who got the definition? And we in Romans. There you go. I done lost the scripture. My bad. We have Romans 1 and 23. Yeah, uncorruptible is the word we're looking for. If you can't find that, then let's just find what corruptible means. No sweat. Go ahead, Shemata boy. Or yeah, corruptible or uncorruptible, whichever one, because uncorruptible just means the opposite of corruptible. So whichever one.
All right,
You want me to?
That's either way.
All right.
You got a mic?
Come on, I got a mic.
Come on, go ahead.
Corruptible means capable of being corrupted, meaning it can be made dishonest, immoral, or damaged in some way.
There we go. Hold up. That part right there, I want you to hone in on. It can be what?
Dishonest, immoral, damaged.
Damaged. That's the part. In this context, when it says it can't be, is he the incorruptible God? We're going to read on and see why we have to get the proper context of the definition. Because before it said it can't be bribed or persuaded. What else you might have brought before? It's like damaged,
immoral. Excuse me.
Right.
Dishonest.
It can't be made dishonest or immoral. But also use the word damaged. If we go back to the scripture, Salakia, it says, and change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Here, the word uncorruptible is not talking about morality. How do we know? How do we know it's not talking about being persuaded to do something immoral? It named man, four-legged beast, creeping things, birds, or I don't know if it said birds, but Salakia. It named man and animals. Yeah, and it does say birds. Right. Does a bird have a moral compass? No.
No.
Come on. Can a bird be persuaded to be dishonest?
Nah.
So that would make that bird what? Uncorruptible by that definition. But it doesn't mean that. But what can happen to a bird and a man and a four-legged beast and a creeping thing? That can't happen to the Most High. Good. That's the word there, so that's right. But give me the good word to bring it home.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
They can perish. They can die.
Give him a hand. That's it. They can be killed, destroyed, damaged. The Most High cannot. Right? So it says, change the glory of the uncorruptible Most High of God into an image made like to corruptible man, into birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Verse 24, wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts. He's describing all these ways they were unclean. So the first part we just read about, they were unclean because they tried to say what? They tried to say that God was a man or a four-legged beast or a creeping thing or a bird. Who does that? Where did we get that from? The other nations. That's right. Because the Egyptians, guess what? They'll tell you that God is a scarab beetle, or God is a falcon, or God is a man, or that God is, what is it? Corruptible man, birds, four-footed beasts, and creeping things, or that God is, some kind of a lion or some kind of animal, right? So we were given up to these affections. We were given up to these beliefs. We changed the glory of the Most High, who is uncorruptible. He doesn't, he can't die like a deer. He can't die like a man, right? And we try to give his glory to these corruptible, damageable things. Come on. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness. So now how else did he give us up to uncleanness? Through the lust of their own hearts, right? Remember before, it also said something about the imaginations. What is your heart in the Bible? Read my mind. Khan Hawan, but I know you know. I'm telling you without telling you.
Salaki, is your heart weak?
But it is. But yes, but I'm saying, what is it? What is your heart? Like, it's a weird question because you would think, okay, your heart is your heart. But in the Bible, when it says your heart, it's actually not talking about that thing in your chest that pumps blood throughout your extremities.
So, can you repeat the question?
What in the Bible, what does heart mean? What is your heart referring to?
Heart, Slakia. Heart, as in HEART. Heart. I guess your being or your spirit, Slakia.
La'a.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Emotion.
La'a. The things y'all are mentioning are related, but Sister Matana said it. If somebody gives me a precept, I'll just be, amazed and mesmerized.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Is it their own way?
Mm-mm. No sweat, no sweat. I'm gonna give it to you for time's sake. Salakia, bear with me 1 second. I thought you was gonna come through. I thought you had the precept. No sweat. I know you know the answer, but I thought you was gonna have the precept. But it's cool. Somebody get Philippians 4:7. That's in the New Testament. That's not the one I'm looking for, though. Maybe. No. That's not a bad one. Hold on, but I want there's a specific one. So somebody said Matthew 15:19. That might be it. But yes, the answer is your mind. The answer is your mind. Let me see if that's the one I'm looking for. That's a good one. Yeah, Matthew 15:19 is a great one. I'm not. Is that the one? I'm not sure if that's the one, but that is an outstanding precept. Somebody get Matt. Go ahead.
Come on.
Got it?
Huh? 15, Matthew 15:19, right?
Yep.
Come on. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 19.
Start at 18.
18. Come on. Verse 18. He saith unto him, which Jesus said, thou shalt do no murder.
So like you in what verse you in? What chapter? I don't think you're in chapter 15.
Chapter 15. I'm in 19.
Go to chapter 15. Start at verse 17. And we're gonna go back to young man G's question we're talking about in Romans, but right now we're just getting an understanding of what the mind means, or what the heart means when you read it in the scriptures.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 17.
God.
Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in the mouth goeth into the belly and is cast out into the draughts?
God. In other words, Christ is giving them he's cutting them. You know what I'm saying? Because they worried about, you eating and you ain't wash your hands. You ain't wash them dishes. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, we all know that you should wash your hands and everything, but they tried to get Christ like he was committing a sin. You know what I'm saying? By not having washed his hands and things like that before he ate. And now he's cutting them, saying, Like y'all don't. I mean, you mean to tell me y'all don't understand that whatever goes in your body, right? Whatever you eat, your body purges it out. Whatever your body doesn't need, whatever things your body can't make use of, is going to get rid of it, right? Go ahead, verse 18.
Come, verse 18. But those things which proceed out the mouth.
There was those things which proceed out of the mouth. So what comes out of your mouth? Go ahead.
Come forth from the heart.
Come forth from where?
The heart.
Come forth from where?
The heart.
They come from the heart. What comes out of your mouth comes from your heart. Go ahead.
And they defile the man.
And they defile the man. What you say out of your heart, which comes out of your mouth, right, is what defiles you, not what you eat, not what goes in. Of course, we're talking about something that's lawful. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about eating unlawful food. We're talking about, again, it was about whether or not he was washing his hands before he ate, right? Whether he washed them dishes. Now read verse 19.
Come, verse 19. For out of the heart.
Out of the what?
Out of the heart.
Out of the heart.
Proceed evil thoughts.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Out of the heart proceed what?
Evil thoughts.
Now you tell me how in the hell the Webster's definition of heart, which is the organ in your body that controls what system is that, Shemai Bar? Where all the blood, I know you know. Yeah, but what is the circulatory system, right? Yeah, the circulatory system that regulates all of the blood flow throughout your body is controlled. The control center of that is your heart. That's what a heart is in the Webster's definition. But in this Bible, when it talks about your heart, it ain't talking about that. Because it just said that from your heart proceeds what? Evil thoughts. How you gonna have an evil thought from the organ that pumps blood? That doesn't make sense. From your heart proceeds evil thoughts. Read on.
Murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. All of this stuff,
it comes from where? It comes from your mind. That's why the scriptures are about wicked imaginations. So when it talks about your heart in the scriptures, it's talking about your mind. Another scripture I'm paraphrasing when it says that the heart is wicked above all things. Who can know it? It's talking about your mind. Your mind comes up with these things. Okay? So now let's jump back to Romans. Right? And let's go to, what was we at? We in the first chapter. I think we was at 20-something verse.
Salakia.
You 12?
We finished at 24.
Count, we at 24, right? If we finished 24, okay, come. Right. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, meaning their own minds. Okay. Salakia, what just happened?
To dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
Mm-hmm. To dishonor their own body, so their imaginations made them dishonor themselves between themselves. There's a great example of this going on right now. There's a great example of some people that have dishonored their own bodies between themselves because of their lust of their own hearts. Anybody ever heard of P. Diddy? P. Diddy has dishonored himself through the lust of his own mind. Some crap that he came up with in his brain that God did not tell him to do. The Most High did not tell Diddy to do any of this. And some people try to say that God made me this way. I was born this way. God made me like this. Who got a precept to go to disprove that? And we're not going nowhere. We staying right here in Romans. We're just going to break this all the way down. This scripture, to answer the question, is all about uncleanness. Paul is talking about all the different ways that these people were given to uncleanness. They fell into uncleanness. That's a good one too. I think that's young man Shamar. Shalom. How about Shamar Shabbat? That's a good one too, but that first one was perfect. I think that was the precept I was looking for, if I'm not mistaken. That's on point. Matthew 15 and 19, right? What we looking for right now? Mm-hmm. Right. That's what I was looking for. Yep. Give me James chapter 1 and verse 13. Start at 12. James chapter 1 and verse 12.
It's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
That's the man who's blessed. Everybody in the Christian church want to talk about, Lord bless me and I'm blessed. I'm just so blessed. But the scriptures say that blessed is the man who does what?
Endureth temptation.
That's who's blessed, the man that endures temptation, that fights sin. Read on.
For when he is tried.
For when he is what?
For when he is tried.
When he's tried, when he is given a test, when something is put in front of him to try his spirit. Go ahead.
He shall receive the crown of life.
He shall receive the crown of life because he's tried and doesn't fail. Read on.
Which the Lord have promised to them that love him.
Why? Because that's how you love the Most High. Isn't that beautiful how that wraps up? When you fight against temptation, that's how you show the Most High that you love him. Not how well you beat tambourines against your hip. You know what I'm saying? Not how well you can hold a note. Y'all make loving the Most High too easy. You know what I'm saying? I just watched a documentary about Luther Vandross. I'm telling you, man, that man has, listen, you know what I'm saying? Lord willing, may he rise again. You know what I'm saying? May he rise again, you know what I'm saying, in the truth, in the spirit of the Most High in Christ. But that man has so much sugar in his tank. And I remember everyone used to talk about it. Everybody would be like, yeah, Luther, he this and that. And people would be like, well, you never seen Luther with no man. We don't know if Luther. Come on now. Come on. Right? But people would say things like, oh, he got God in his voice. What? That's all you got to do to be down with the Most High and sing good? No, man, it's harder than that. It don't matter whether you can sing good. You got to get your spirit tried, man. You got to be tempted of the Most High, right? That's what it is. Read on.
Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted.
This is the thing right here now. Don't let a man say when he's tempted. Don't let a man, when that pork chop is in front of you, you understand? When all them trials and tribulations you go through, and now in your imagination, your mind, you deciding whether or not you want to represent LGBTQ. You thinking about playing for the other team. You know what I'm saying? This is what you're contemplating. You thinking about, your preference and things like that. Let no man say when he is tempted. Go ahead.
I am tempted of God.
Do not say when you're tempted, oh, God made me this way. I was born this way. God is the one who put these feelings in me. Pause. Don't say that. Read on.
For God cannot be tempted with evil.
The Most High cannot be tempted with evil. Sin is evil. Them things you doing, them wicked things, that's evil. The Most High can't be tempted with that. He ain't got no dealings with none of that. Go ahead.
Neither tempteth he any man.
He doesn't tempt any man. What does that mean? Again, what I tell you about that colon at the end of the sentence, right? Whenever you see that, a light bulb should go off. Okay, to understand this, let me go to the next part. Now read verse 15.
14, Salakia.
14, Salakia, come on.
But every man is tempted.
Go ahead.
When he is drawn.
This is when a man is tempted.
When he is drawn.
Go ahead.
Away of his own lust.
No, God's lust.
His own lust.
No, the Spirit of the Most High's lust.
His own
No,
lust.
Jesus Christ's lust.
His own lust.
He is drawn away because of his own lust. That's already in you, Ak. That's you. That's you that feels that way. That's you that's being tempted to that. Don't say you tempted of the Most High. Don't try to put it on the Most High. Go ahead.
And
enticed. So the lust is already in you. Now you are enticed. You already got some sugar in your tank, right? Because maybe, again, unfortunately, maybe you did get touched on or something horrible happened to you when you was a young boy, right? Which created a horrible thing in your mind. And now that temptation is in you. And then you get enticed. Go ahead. Next verse.
Verse 15. Salakia.
Uh-huh.
Then when lust hath conceived.
I love that wording right there. You understand? Lust is the thing that happens before the sin. The sin is after lust conceives. It's going to tell you. The lust is the thing that's happening up here. Which we just learned in the scriptures is your what?
Your heart, your mind.
Exactly. So it says, then when lust hath conceived, now lust has given birth. It was up here first. Then lust gave birth. Go ahead.
It brings forth sin.
That's what lust, when it conceives, brings forth sin. Read on.
And sin. When it is finished.
And sin, when it is finished, that action, that unlawful action, when it is finished, go ahead.
Bringeth forth death.
That's what comes of it. That's the wages of sin. You understand? But you cannot say that when you're tempted of the Most High. Because the Most High, you know what I'm saying, he's not the God of the dead anyway. So he doesn't want you to die. He wants you to be strong enough to not fall into temptation. Another scripture that you say and I think it's in the Apocrypha, it says, when it comes to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You're going to be tried to see if you're really down for the Most High. Now, once again, let's jump back to Romans and finish it out. Verse 25.
Salakia. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
The people who dishonor their own bodies between themselves, they changed the truth of the Most High into a lie. Go ahead.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
That's what Diddy does. Diddy serves the creature more than the creator. Okay. And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer of 5000. I rock.
You answered already? All right, no sweat, no sweat. Shalom, everybody. It's Priest Officer 5000, Officer Rock. And can we close these over here? Get all this stuff closed. And hey, turn this light off. Not that. Well, that's why. Is that too hard for you? Is that going to bother you? Anybody? Yeah, turn that off if you don't mind. Yeah, keep. Yeah, they can see me. I can see myself. Yeah, I can see myself. Light. Nah. The other way. Yeah, the light bothers me. It really does. Yeah, it's bothering me right now. All right, everybody, clap it up. I hope you guys you went over the Carolina Coke Classic. Have you gone over that yet? Have you spoke about it? Yeah. Everybody, make sure. I just want to get this in. Just make sure that everybody is aware of the Carolina Coke Classic. It's the North Carolina Cookout. This will be our first cookout in this area under Captain Nyathak. As you know, we had 2 Passovers under Captain Nyathak, and I think the Akim and Akwatian enjoyed the what I've learned to love since I moved to North Carolina, the Southern hospitality. You know what I'm saying? Where you can allow your children to play freely in the yard and the neighbors speak or whatever, the things that we used to make fun of, you know, back home. But in any case, July the 3rd through the 6th in Fayetteville, North Carolina, we'll be having a major event, outreach to the community in North Carolina, specifically in Fayetteville. But we will be having free food, free games, free activities, and more importantly, you get to see the Akim. You get to see the generals. You the people that you see on TV, like Captain Tazariak, Captain Akkad, Captain Mashak, any of the heavy hitters that were raised up by Commanding General Yohana. You get an opportunity to actually walk up. You know, at camp, you know, a lot of times people intimidated how we, because we handling the Lord's business at camp. You know what I'm saying? And some people may, you know, they may not want to interrupt. They may feel like they're interrupting us, and they may not know when they can actually approach the priests and prophets of the Lord. And so this is an opportunity for those people, even those that may have questions or want to debate or anything like that. This is an opportunity. We have free time or more relaxed, in a more relaxed setting where you can now, you know, address certain things that you may have. A lot of people in the different cities in the Virginia, the VA area, DC, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina. It shouldn't be a burden to make that trip to actually get to see Commanding General Yohana, General Mahayim, General Mayaka Allah, the other generals that will come up, General Shalimar, General Hazayan, so forth and so on. No disrespect to the other generals. But ultimately, it's going to be an opportunity for you to see what we teach in action. It's the one time where you're not in the world anymore. You can actually lay your phone down on the table. You can lay your wallet down. You can let your children run free because you're now under the protection of the Lord's military. You understand? And we have a different, we protect our sheep. We protect our own. You know what I'm saying? And we're not thinking like scheming like we did in the world. Like, yo, she just dropped the 20. Let me cuff that. We don't do that because we one-minded in here. You know what I'm saying? We know that belongs to that sister. That's my sister. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? The angels are watching. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is aware of our actions and deeds, and we're not going to get out of this burden. We're not going to get up out of this oppression if we continue to tolerate these vices of this world. You understand? That's the beauty of the Carolina Cult Classic Cookout. That's the beauty of coming to any of the events. We'll be having numerous cookouts throughout the nation, but any UPK event, you can put down that tense, that paranoid mindset, like, yo, this nigga trying to play me, son. Like, for real, like, yo, I gotta keep my guard up. Here, you let your guard down. Here, who you were in the world, you let that die. You'll stick out like a sore thumb if you don't. You know what I'm saying? There's no place for that here. We've all come from ridiculous backgrounds and ashamed of a lot of things that we've done in this world. In the fact, don't sleep on the men in the school. You know what I'm saying? It may seem cuddly and approachable. 10 years back, 15 years back, for some of us, you couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? But we had to let that man die. We had to let that go. So make sure that you understand that spirit, because we will have people from the world coming in, but the predominant spirit is going to be the UPK, you know what I'm saying, being under Christ and actually being brotherly, which is our topic today. So if you don't mind, let's start off with why brotherhood is absent in the world. Like what's one of the first things you must, what's one of the components of not being brotherly? Does anybody have that answer? What's one of the first things, if someone is not brotherly or sisterly, what's one demon that we that you usually is the prevalent entity or demon, as we say? Does anybody have that answer in the class?
Slaki, sir. Envy, jealousy. That's not brother.
Damn right. Give him a hand. They call that Joe. Jealous one's envy. So now let's go even deeper than that, though. To be jealous, what's that demon, though? What's that primary demon of jealousy, which leads to covetousness and envy? Anybody? I give it to you. Selfishness. You know what I'm saying? Like you first must be worried and focused and concerned with yourself only. You don't see yourself, your peers as your brothers or your sisters. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would envy your Balenciagas. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, how you get those? You know what I'm saying? Versus me just be like, yo, we got those. That's my brother. He doing this. I'm doing this. We gonna put it all together. You know what I'm saying? We gonna build something as a nation, because the Lord, as we know, you know, he may deal with us as individuals, but he punishes us as a nation. You understand? When Noah and his sons built the ark and people died, it wasn't that every last human being on the planet, you know, was doing something. There was babies that didn't do anything, but they perished. That's how terrible the Most High can be. You know what I'm saying? Sodom and Gomorrah, all of those people. Why? Because the ruling class, or the Gates, they tolerated it. They provided a system and a culture in which it tolerated selfishness and lustful pleasures and worldly ideologies. You understand? That's what happened with Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? All the great nations have fallen due to selfishness, due to doing what you feel. You know what I'm saying? You only live once. You know what I'm saying? Where the Most High knew that this playing field was going to exist on this planet. And when he created us, when he gave that covenant, passed it down from Abraham, Isaac, to Jacob and his seed, you know what I'm saying? The 12 tribes of Israel, he gave us a playbook. He provided the 18 nations on this planet, and then he provided his chosen one. You know what I mean? The nation of Israel, he said, I'm going to give you the playbook. Right. These are the rules. If you follow this playbook, this regimen, this training, you know what I mean? This ideology, if you follow this, you're going to rule the whole planet Earth. But you got to follow it. And it starts with what? It's being selfless and having faith in the law, statutes, and commandments. Right. Every time the nation of Israel was triumphant, we obeyed and adhered to the Most High, right? And there was always one man on the planet that dealt with that the Most High dealt with, that we adhered to, and we followed that playbook, and we were victorious. You know what I'm saying? Until a time, and in that time of Solomon, when we split, that's when the division and the demons interfere with us as a nation, and the Lord allowed the domino effect to happen to where they got scattered and conquered by the Romans, and then after they went into Africa.
So, like I said, I don't mean to cut you off or nothing. I was wondering what's a precept I could study based on what you just said when we got split in the time when Solomon. You said Solomon, correct?
That's right. In the time of Solomon, we had two kings. Let me get the precept for the split of the northern kingdom, Salakia. Yeah, I'll get that for you. Just 1 second. And basically, that northern kingdom, which is the so-called Hispanic speaking and also the Brazilians, Portuguese speaking tribes today, had to flee into Africa, South Africa, where they then at some point over a period of time took ships into the new world, which was what do they call it? What was it called in yeah, there you go, Asarat. But Central and South America, then you have Jamaica, Trinidad, all those areas, the Caribbean. You got that? Okay, so while he's getting that, I'm gonna continue, and then from there, we're under Roman occupancy. When by the time that Christ was born in Jerusalem, then you have the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and the remnants of Levi as the Jews. Well, all right, let's read that. You got the mic? Go ahead. And as we know, during the time of Christ, it was the Romans.
It's chapter 12, verse 16. It's like y'all don't want.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
It's like you. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, and verse 16. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. Verse 17. But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Verse 18.
So here, just let them know.
Okay.
When we say Israel at this time, we're talking about the northern kingdom, because there was a great split, a disagreement on keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. As we know, when the northern kingdom migrated to South America, Central America, they wanted to worship hawks and the sky and the sun and things like that. But Judah, which comprised of Benjamin, Levi, and the modern day Negro, we remained, right? So this is where the story of Christ, when he comes, he was a Jew, you know what I'm saying? But yet when he returned, when he started teaching, he was trying to get us when he had Paul actually teaching for him as well, he was trying to get him to bring the scattered, meaning the northern kingdom back into the fold, because at one point they were cut off. They were strangers. We considered them heathens. The northern kingdom, the other 9 tribes of Israel. Read on, Salakia.
Come. Then verse 18. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones, that he died. Therefore, King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot, to flee to Jerusalem. Verse 19. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day.
And the house of David is Judah, right? So that's where there was a great split between the 9 tribes of the northern kingdom versus Benjamin, Judah, and Levi in the southern kingdom, which encompassed Jerusalem. So from that time, you can drop that. From that time, we had the invade after they killed Christ. What was it, 70 AD? What was it, 70 AD, after they had what we call it, not just crucified, but they actually what's the legal term? Capital punishment for him. That was their method of capital punishment. After they did that to Christ, they then came to get the rest of his people, which was the what they call the Jews, right? Yet most people today don't know that the Jews are just a part of Israel. Right. When there's 12 tribes. That's why when you see someone say, "Oh, I'm Jewish," which means they wish they were a Jew. Right. You say, "Hey, what tribe were you from?" They don't know anything about Manasseh. They don't know anything about Naphtali. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't even fit. When you look up the descriptions of the 12 tribes, you don't see any European version of, let's say, Issachar. What does Issachar mean? He is hired. Issachar always working. The so-called Mexicans, they are hard workers. And if you've ever played sports with Issachar, they may look like non-threatening, but they got they have a strength about them. They very strong. It says in the scriptures that Issachar is represented by a donkey? A donkey with 2 burdens on his side, right? Very strong. Don't sleep on a donkey. If you've seen a donkey, is fierce, is tough, strong, and can work long hours of the day. That is the so-called Mexicans today. The descriptions of Levi, the descriptions of Judah, us being a lion, and lion's well, and actually being a trendsetter. You know what I mean? The descriptions in the Bible about each 12 tribe is on point, to the point where you can't even see a Jewish man and say, no one mimics you. You know what I'm saying? No one's following your music culture, even though they capitalize off of what we do. But every nation capitalize off of what we do, from Persian, Mede Empire, Babylon, Egypt, Rome, Greece, America. Go ahead, you got it.
Because what you just brought out is just real heavy. Just that alone, all these descriptions of all these different tribes, and they just none of them coincide with the so-called Jewish man in any way. When you think about a Jewish man, you don't think about somebody that works hard. You don't think about none of those things. And it says Judah is a lion's whelp. You know what I'm saying? What Jewish man, so-called Jewish man, have you ever seen that you thought of a lion? Ever? Like, never seen no Jewish man nowhere with the Abraham Lincoln hat and the little curly joints out in Brooklyn, and thought to yourself, man, look at these young lions. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? But when you see Javante Tank Davis, you think of a young lion.
Hell yeah. But on one side, the so-called Jewish man is always lying.
So you think of him as a young lion? He's lying, but he's not a young lion.
Yeah,
I got you.
Definitely.
Kyle Carson.
The Lion King. ING.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But with that, and just like what Officer Thabawan was bringing out, is the Bible in itself it uses descriptive what is it like code, right? Where how would you know? It's almost like it doesn't spell it out for you, because it wasn't made for the oppressor. Right. it was made for the oppressor with his riches and wealth and influence to mass produce this Bible, because one day we will be able to read, we will be able to congregate as far as, come together, and we would be able to one day come into the knowledge of this Bible, which happened in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and under the Isupk, right now under Command and General Yohana. This is where the truth of this Bible, which we've had so long, comes out. Prior to 1969, everyone that held this Bible just believed that God loved everybody, believed that Jesus was a white man, the Jews were white, believed that all you have to do is confess that Jesus Christ is my personal Lord and Savior, and before you take your last breath, you forgiven, and you're gonna go to heaven in the land of milk and honey, in the clouds. And Adam and Eve bit an apple and was talking to a snake, and we've been cursed. All of these are lies. All of these are lies, and this is why Christian pastors run from Commander General Yohana, run from Captain Tazariak, run from the generals of the ISUPK, because the veil has been lifted. You understand? The veil has been lifted about who we are. Just imagine all your life growing up and having cultural day. You see Red Dot Ishmael Gupta, and he talks about his country in was it India, right? You have Elamite, the Elamites from India. They know their culture, right? You have people from Sweden, they know their culture. People from Ireland, they know their culture. But it's like, what are you going to bring, Jamal, about your culture? Neck bones and collard greens, a slave chain, a plate in my nose. It's shameful to actually be locked into just being a Hamite. You understand? Like, imagine the trauma, the generational curses, psychological curses that go into not knowing who you are, but yet they know who they are. Chinese Moabites know who they are. The Japanese know who they can trace their lineage back. But me, I'm just a color. I'm just black, right? Or I'm a colored man, or I'm a Afro-American, which is a hairstyle. I'm a Jerry curl American. I'm a cornroll American. I'm a temporary permanent American. Right. You understand? Right. Imagine being shuffled around because the powers that be just keep. Notice when you see the old, what do they call the bill of sale? It didn't say Nigerians for sale. It didn't say Ghanaians for sale, Liberians. What it said was Negroes for sale. You understand? Why did it say that? These are the things that, in my journey into the truth, because I'm like, I wasn't trying to come in the truth. You know what I'm saying? I was fine. I was already well into my 30s and up, living how I wanted to live. You know what I'm saying? I've already been in the 5%, Zulu Nation, having respect for Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Nation of Islam, all of that. Anything black, I was down with. But I still wasn't convinced in my soul what I was. This is the first place that actually gave me my identity. You know what I'm saying? Out of the 18 nations of the planet Earth, now you got to find out which one do we fit. Are we Hamites? You know what I'm saying? Because the Hamites what does it say in Bible dictionary about Ham? You got the Bible dictionary? Salakia. Well, don't worry about it. I'll paraphrase. The Bible dictionary says Ham, the youngest son of Noah. Okay, go ahead. We got Mr. Precept Man here. We gonna just get that read for y'all. But in any case, that's the thing about the Bible is how it's like the process of elimination. And it's like, okay, well, when you read Deuteronomy 28 and 15 through 68, right? And you go over the curses that befell upon the children of Israel. It doesn't, you say, okay, let's see if this is the Filipino. Nope, can't be them. They have a military. They have banking system. They know who they are. They have a language. Let's see if it's the Jewish man. Nope. They have their own land was stolen land, but they have power, influence, right? You can go through the Elamites. Nope. They have their own language, their own military might. You know what I'm saying? So forth and so on. Well, who is the one people that does not have that befits these curses? It's so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics or Latinos, and Native American Indians. And that's why the ISUPK is the home of the truth. That's why you don't see, like, we could have easily been shut down tonight, right? We could have been shut down 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We exposed. Anyone can call in, anyone can type in at any time. Captain Tazariak keep his phone on 24/7. You can call him anytime and say, "Oh, I figured it out. See, the ISUPK is wrong. Here it is, right here. Here it is. I found it." Right? We found it. It would be broadcasted all over the planet Earth because no one is more hated and vilified than the brothers in the ISUPK. You got that for me about him?
So lucky, sir. So the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
Right now, everybody listening, we're talking about Ham. This is the youngest son of Noah, right? Go ahead, read on.
He became the progenitor.
Progenitor means the father of, right?
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Of the dark races.
Not the Negroes.
Not the Negro. Read that again. Not the what?
Not the Negroes.
Not the Negro. And who was on the bill of sale? Tabawan, who was on the bill of sale in America?
Negro.
The Negro. So we can't be African. We cannot be Hamites.
So like I said, so as far as I don't know if this correlates, just let me know if it does, but as far as when we were just discussing Kings chapter 12, 16 through 19 and everything, right? If you read back or if you go back and it's talking about our yoke, well, first it's multiple parts to this, but if you're talking about our yoke, could you explain to me what the yoke was? So I can have a better understanding.
Anybody give me a definition of the word yoke? Give me the scripture that says in Deuteronomy, it says a yoke of iron will be upon thy neck. And what we must understand is that the ISUPK withstands scrutiny and criticism and lies by disloyal children of the ISUPK who had aughts who did not display brotherhood, who decided to leave the ISUPK, start their own group, or just fade off into the world. And yet the ISUPK still stands because we stand on the truth. Let me know when you have that. You have that? First, give me the definition, okay, and then we're gonna go to that Deuteronomy. 28.
This is the definition of yoke in Oxford Languages. First one is a noun, a wooden crosspiece that is fastened over the necks of 2 animals and attached to the plow or cart that they are to pull.
Okay, so in this description is talking about a device that's used to control or help steer some type of cattle, right? You ever hear the scripture where we say, do not be unequally yoked? Well, this is used before we had, technology and machinery. We use mules or oxen and various animals like that. And the yoke was something to guide their neck, to guide their head, meaning to guide their body by controlling the head. You know what I mean? And so read on.
Next definition, a part of a garment that fits over the shoulders and to which the main part of the garment is attached, typically in gathers or pleats.
Okay, so again, we're talking about something around the neck area, right? That controls or at least exemplifies the head to move the body, right? So in slavery, when we were put into chains, right, they would use a yoke of iron around our neck, right? and with that they could control 2 or 3 or 4 so-called slaves at a time, because you control the head, the body will follow. You understand?
And the reason I had just asked for clarification on what yoke was, it because now I'm going back to when you read 16 through 19. So was the reason that they had to be, they were separated because they had to differentiate the people amongst Israel who were unequally yoked with the people who were equally yoked?
As far as a metaphor or physically?
Metaphor.
Okay, metaphorically, yes.
Okay.
Metaphorically, we would, like I said, a person who wasn't circumcised, a person who didn't come to the Passover, they were considered a heathen. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, until Christ's return. Go ahead, read that.
We're going to Deuteronomy.
Come
on. Slug it. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
So who do we serve? Who do we serve now? Go ahead.
Salaga said the other nations.
We serve the other nations, and the Most High considered them who?
Thine enemies.
They are who?
Thine enemies.
This is one of the most important things you could teach your children, teach your wives, teach your Akim. They are not your friends. When we're out here in this world, yes, we are to be professional. We're supposed to be polite and cordial with them, but we are to know they are our enemy. Every polite or smile that they do, and oh hi, thank you. Oh, the way that they slither and appear to be, meek and gentle, they have a blade behind them. They can't wait to call. You ever seen a Karen before? They can't wait. If you've ever been in the BOP, Bureau of Prison, you see their true color. You want to see their true color? Be in the BOP, be under their subjection, be in the back of the police car when they know you have no voice. You can't do anything about it. They show you how they really are. And this is all of them. That's your coaches who like you because you can run and catch. It's them too. Because when it comes down to it, they're going to side with their own when it comes down to it. They really can't stay. They just like you because you're the nice one. You're not like the others. You understand? You're not like the rest of them, Jamal. I like you. Why can't you guys stop sagging your pants? And why do y'all always have to talk on the phone so loud when you come into a bank? Why do you have to be so ghetto? You understand? They don't like us. Okay, you can see it in sports. You can see what was he talking about? Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. You couldn't be black and like the Celtics. That's what today is funny when people say, I'm going for the Celtics. There's a lot of brothers in their 40s and up who would never like the Celtics because there was this racial divide where, okay, if you black, you're going for Philly, the Lakers, Houston, but no one goes for Larry Bird, even though we knew he could play. We saw that he could play, but we would he garbage. At that time, he was garbage. Because there was just something that was instilled within us that I don't care what he does. You know what I'm saying? I'm not rooting for him. When Judites were younger, we were taught you have to be 10 times as smart as white people just to even be coming second with them. You know what I'm saying? Intellectually. There's never a time when a Judite would allow their subordinate, like their athlete or something, to lose to a white boy. Like you can lose to your brother, but if you're fighting a white boy, hell, and it was a big nowadays. There's no most of the guys haven't even watched Roots or they don't know anything about slavery, so they don't have that extra incentive. Like it's like one thing. It's like when what's the boy's name? The boxer who fought the bald-headed UK dude. I can't remember his name right
now. Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, if Muhammad Ali was here, George, so they be rolling in their grave. They're like, hell no. It was at that racial incident. It was like, yo, nah, this man calling me nigga. He gonna take these jabs. He called me nigga before he came out here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way. When I ran track, ain't no way, no white. There was a boy named Corey Winkleman, one of the fast cats. That boy he never would beat me. Not because I was better than him, because I just couldn't. I hear my grandmother, don't you let no white boy. My mother, to this day, you know, my daughters wrestle. And my mother, my sister, they tell you, are we coming to your wrestling match? But you better not let no white girl beat you. And that's what's in their mind. Like, okay, well, I'm going to do my best here, But this white person, why? Because you might be a good, so-called good white person, not white person, but you're representing something. When you take that L, when Wilder got beat, it was showed all across the world. It's giving white boys confidence. They taking all these hormone injections and all this stuff to jump high because they made a movie called White Man Can't Jump, because there was a time when they couldn't jump. It was real. But they take science and they go and they get mad about it. Like, we're going to jump. I'm going to make the ultimate jumper. And we're like, we passed that already. They come up with an Eminem. I don't know. I'm going to do the lyrical miracle. And we done with that. We came with Lil Wayne. We came with Kendrick. We're like, we pass all of that. We don't care about all that verbiage, all of that shit, because you ain't done none of that. You talking about killing your moms and driving into the lake and raping your daughter and popping pills, and we don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Listen to Drake or Kendrick or J. Cole or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Anytime we was through with it before they knew what to do with it.
That's right.
By the time they started jumping, we was already hitting threes from half court. Now they gonna try to recreate a Steph Curry. You know what I mean? And by that time, go ahead, Salakia.
You killing them. You on point with it, Salakia. It's so bad. You mentioned Steph Curry. They try to claim Steph Curry so bad. Like, I'll be seeing in the comments, they want to claim him because they think he's biracial when he's not. Right. Both of his parents are black. His mother's like, yo, I'm black. Right. Obviously, his father's Del Curry. But they like you said, they so competitive while we trying to be all fair and be like, well, I know he can play. No, that Eminem, he can rap and all that. While we trying to be all fair, you know what I'm saying? That's not how they operate. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? They gonna give props to, you know what I mean? That's, even in Hollywood, I'm gonna land my plane. But like, you ever notice that they don't make movies about black boxers? Until Creed. Like, all these legendary black boxers that dominated the sport. Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, so on. I mean, obviously, even my Hispanic brothers, Roberto Duran, Joe Louis. But you never seen a Joe Louis movie. You've never seen a Sugar Ray Robinson movie, Sugar Ray Leonard movie. The only one we got is Ali and Creed, who's not even a real person. Meanwhile, Rocky has a damn statue in Philadelphia, but Joe Frazier does not.
And there's like fucking 8 Rocky movies, right? And
he loses in all of them.
And the one movie they did do that I can recall was Reuben Hurricane Carter. Right. You should know him, right? That's damn right. So but yet you saw what he had to go through. You know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily, it was victorious towards the end, but he got caught up. You know what I'm saying? They ain't like him. You know what I'm saying? And so this all goes into the mindset, the early mindset of the blood of Cain. You know what I mean? What is the scripture where he says, you are your father, the devil, the murderer from the beginning? Let me get that. Let me see. Let me get John 8:44.
This is the book of John. It's like I said.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
This is the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do.
Damn right. The lust of your father ye will do, which means whatever have ye, whatever animalistic desire, whatever your belly craveth, you're going to do anything to get it. There is no law that you follow first. You know what I'm saying? You just cut in front of the line, in front of everybody, and just get and take and gobble up all the land, cut up all the trees, not considering the generations to follow. You know what I mean? That we're gonna have to clean up this mess on this planet. Read on.
Come. He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was a murderer from the beginning. Who was the first murderer? Damn right, right? And that mindset prevaileth today. That murdering mindset. When you look at this world, it is a, when you step outside of as an individual, when you step outside of being an individual and look at the chessboard and look at why we're needed, why all the projects, there's always a corner store, there's always a church, right? The church lets us feel like this life is hell and the afterlife is going to be heaven. So endure. You know, it doesn't matter what you do. Just come as you are and keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you a drug addict, a dealer, a killer, a stealer, a thief, a sexual deviant. It doesn't matter what you are. God loves you. And that's all. That's enough to go for the next 6 days, right? Then you got the corner store, right? And you would think, you know, them corner stores, you would think them poppies like it's broke, but they making millions and sending it back. It's an operation, a covert operation off of salt, sugar, tobacco, and liquor. That's all you need to open up a bodega. That's all you need. Chips, salt, sodium, candy bars, Snickers, Milky Way, Hershey Kiss, whatever. That's sugar. That's your fix for that. And your Newports, right? Your Black and Miles, right? And so forth. And the other stuff that go on, the other underhanded stuff that goes on there. But pretty much you set it up. Who's your clientele? The poor. They come in with $1 at a time, 50 cents here, 75 cents here, $3 here. Yet you telling me we can't start black businesses and thrive? Why can't we? These cats come up in here, post up, act like they broke, but then when you follow them home, they don't live in the hood. They don't live nowhere near there. And they the front man. And a lot of them running other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this game is set up for us to either be, you know, if you an addict, like these addicts be out here all day. Nobody's messing with them. They ain't getting locked up for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But you try to capitalize off of, you try to make money on your own without being a part of their system. They get enough evidence against you, and then they get you to snitch. Either you're gonna snitch or you're gonna do some time if you ain't no real G. You know what I mean? Then from there, you oppress, you either take the other route where you get a 9 to 5 and all the taxes they take out. Wait, where can you afford to live? That's good. That's quality. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, the demon of a relationship. If you got a rib that ain't on board, who, you know, you get her pregnant and now she throw you on child support, it's a system. It's a chain reaction. And people wonder why we aggressive. People wonder why we suffer from depression, because we supposed to be so masculine that we hold our feelings in. We ain't got no one to talk to. We don't have no way to let it out unless we just, you know, feel like we just want to steal off on somebody or do something crazy. We have a lot of untapped mental illness because of that. Go ahead, you got it.
You know, nowadays it's like some of the women now would try to call that aggression and that you know, that zeal, that passion. They'll be like, "Oh, you emotional. You emotional." You know what I'm saying? Some people will say that. You know what I'm saying? You'll hear that from people. What would you say to that?
I would say number one, no emotion. You have to have controlled emotion as a man, right? Having passion. That's sometimes labeling something. That's a power too. That was a power that was given to Adam. He was given the power to name the animals and the things that he foresaw. But sometimes a woman can say, or not just a woman, but a woman is usually
a man.
Yeah, a woman is usually the agent. The black woman is usually, you know, in a low state, an agent for the white man. And a lot of times she's saying things that have a
regurgitated.
and it has an effect on you. because it may not even be right and exact. You know what I mean? Because unless you are violently aggressive and abusive and something like that, that's emotional. You know what I'm saying? Going to a crib and shooting in the house and missing your target and killing 2 children and a family man, working man, they ain't had nothing to do with it. That's emotional. You know what I'm saying? Mimicking your mother, how her attitude is, that's emotional. She's the mother of emotion. So she's saying that, you know, if it's warranted, then instead of just saying it, you know, she should, you know, try to help. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see that as emotion. What you said. Go ahead.
Salaki, is arguing with somebody considered emotion too?
If they're a fool, it's not wise. It's not emotional. I wouldn't say it arguing. It depends on if you're talking about domestic. You talking about like domestic?
So like correct, like if a woman's just if we know it's just untrue, like it's just like confidently spewing out just untrue things and just talking like as if she knows, but you know for a fact, and it's like you try to correct it, and the way you correct it, they, you know, it's like they're deeming as just, I don't know, it's like women don't want like men or something. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I be feeling.
If
like,
this is your woman, number one, okay, if this is your woman and she's not submissive to you, and you're a righteous man of the Lord, and you showing her in the scriptures where her behavior is, or you just telling her on the fly, like, nah, don't do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if she's still battling, then it's not her. It's a demon. Give me Ashmodeus in Tobit.
Oh yeah, this you could just answer this one real fast. I meant to ask you before. It was about when you had said that they have the lust of their fathers. Was Canaan a son? Not Canaan. Esau a son of Canaan?
You mean did he have the same spirit?
Did he? Or yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, because he's a son of Isaac,
okay.
Right? And that divide was by the Lord. So eventually that same spirit of Esau as a whole was the same spirit that Canaan had.
Okay.
I mean that Cain has. So like you got me saying Canaan. But with the sister, you have to understand, you got it? Oh wait. Yeah, with a sister, when it's like you like, man, you borderline think she got mental illness, like you're like literally saying 8 + 8 is 16. Here it is right here. No, motherfucker, that's wrong. And she's doing that. That's really a man inside of your woman that don't want you to have control or possess her. And he's giving her a deceptive intelligence, right? To number one, make you so angry because he wants you to choke her and do something to get locked up. That's what he wants you to do. It's like this little petite 5'2" woman who you know you can destroy with your finger. She has a mouth from hell, a snake pit, right? And she says every hurtful thing that no man could ever do. A man can say like, it don't faze you. But her words, because number one, you love her. This is someone you brought into your bosom, into your home. You protect her. You would die for her. But she say the most hurtful. She has the tail. She know all your secrets. She know all your private, personal things, and she comes up with this perfect tirade of words that cut like razor blades, and alcohol. And while you taking an alcohol shower, just piercing through you, and you feel so trapped that either you're going to walk away and stop arguing with her, or you're going to take her unalive her. It gets to that point, and she don't. And it's like you're looking at her like, "Are you insane? Don't you know? Like you're bringing me to the point where I could smother you with this pillow. Will you shut up? All you got to do is just shut up and go cook. Just stop talking to me, saying this garbage. I'm up here trying to help you, and you keep coming back like the uppercut lady. You remember the uppercut lady on the bus driver." And the girl kept talking, running her mouth. And he got up and he goes, "Hurry, you get. You're going to jail now." Yo, he threw her off the bus. But what did she do? She got back on the bus. She can't beat this man, but somehow she wants him to kill her or cause himself to be in prison. You know how many people in a cell right now, and they just like, why did I do that? Damn, over him? I'm in here I'm doing 5 to 7 for somebody I didn't even care about. If I would have just stayed in the house, if I would have just walked the other way, this ain't worth it. But that demonology is important. Everybody check out Demonology by Command and Junior Hanna. Definitely check that out, because he goes into the nuances of what demons are and how you can identify them. Because that's the first thing you must do, is identify the demon. There's different ones. And one of them we talked about was selfishness. Then we went into jealousy and envy, right? And so we're gonna go into this one right here. You got Tobit?
I got it.
Asmodeus.
I got it in let me see. Make sure this is in Tobit. Constant Tobit. I got it, sir. If I could, this is the book of Tobit, chapter 3 and verse 8. Because that she had been married to 7 husbands, whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed.
What's his name?
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. This is an actual demon in the Bible that possesses women, and he wants the woman to herself. We would call it today is paranoid schizophrenia. You know, some type of mental disorder. When you see someone with a mental disorder, if you could see the 4th dimension, you will see some type of entity gnawing and digging and screwing into their brain, just jabbing them, right? And that's what you have to be able to identify as a priest when you're dealing with someone on a level playing field, and they're actually adhering and they're trying to learn. You know, you have different you have challenging questions, and then you have questions where someone is informative. Someone wants to be informed about something. They're sincere. You have to read the spirit of a person.
Okay. That's chapter 3 and verse 8.
Yeah, this sister had killed unalive 7 husbands. She, you know what I'm saying? She would have a husband and end up killing them. And you know, if I had a friend a year ago with a sister that I knew very well, and she definitely possessed Asmodeus, and she ended up hooking up with one of my dear friends, and I didn't warn him. I wish I did, you know, but I didn't warn him about it. But she took his life in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't let him leave the crib, blew his head off. You know what I'm saying? She doing time right now for that. But a lot of sisters, you know how they lure you in? They sweet, petite, they're nice, they're kind, they show you the good side, they cooking good food, they doing everything for you. Then you have 2 or 3 children with them, and they know you can't leave. Next thing you know, they show another side. And it's like, wait a minute, hold up. Would you talk to Christ like that? If Christ was here, I don't want to come. Well, do you know that Christ will hate you for talking to him better than me?
It's like some of them would.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If the woman knew that when she's talking to her husband, you are talking to Christ. The husband is, give me that, the head of every woman. He's the representation of Christ. Just like we say that we're to love our brother as the Most High, right? I may not know you, right? And just like the wife may not agree with what you're saying, but that honor and respect should be there.
I got it, sir.
You know what I mean? Go ahead. Read it.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ. Read on.
And the head of the woman is the man.
The head of the woman is the man. It doesn't matter about your degree. It doesn't matter about your money and your beauty and how fine you are. You are ugly, hideous, and disgusting.
That's
and
right.
Horrible if you disrespect a good, righteous husband. When you have a man that's trying and you're trying to belittle him because you see physically he can handle himself, but you want to pierce and penetrate all that. You want power, just like Eve wanted power. She wanted to listen to this man in the garden, right? And try to attain something that she, you know, was more than what the Lord had for her. She wasn't supposed to have ultimate power. Her power would have been in her weakness and submission to her husband. There's nothing greater than that. You've seen basketball teams, football teams, when a player wants to do it his way and the team ain't on one accord, he may get accolades, right? He'll have a whole career. Oh, he scored 28 points a game. Never won a championship because he couldn't buy into a system. And the woman has to understand she's not unvalued. We need that position. You need that woman to be the nagger to the children to get the house clean. The husband can't go to work and come on and nag. He could be the enforcer, though. He'll give him that look. You know what I'm saying? That's all he got to do. But see, when you cause an imbalance in things, when you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments, right? When you're not adhering to these rules, this playbook, then you wonder why you have the death and destruction, disease and pestilence that we have out here in our community. And it starts with the woman because she's the nurturer, the first nurturer. And she'll run the man out of the house. He trying to stay, but she'll say everything possible to make him run. Then when he run, then she's the mama and the papa, right? She's Mother's Day and Father's Day. And then the boy sees her cursing on the phone or cursing on the block. And so he mimicking her, not knowing to a real man, you look sweet. You look zesty. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your 3-year-old looking at your mother sit down and pee, putting on her lipstick and high heels. You know what I'm saying? That's what we call what was the first demon we talked about today? Selfishness. The first demon, selfishness. Because you want happiness. You want to do this. You want to do that. You want what you want. Sometimes that man, he wants that too for you. But he got to put some things to the side for that. Don't you think he feel bad when he can't take you here? When he can't buy you this? You don't have to rub it in his face. Encourage him. Encourage him. Be there for him. Don't you think he going to sit back and be like, man, I ain't did this for her in like 3 years.
Don't come.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't. She just, but she still held. What was that movie? Jungle Fever.
Don't come.
Anybody saw Jungle Fever where that old Italian cat, his wife had passed away and he was trying to get his son to
the duties.
Right. He was like, we didn't talk for 3 years. And that woman, she scrubbed my back
every day.
Every day. That's a wife. Not humping.
Y'all gotta watch that.
Yeah, Jungle Fever. Shout out to Spike Lee and the Knicks.
Yeah. Shout out to the Knicks.
Yeah, but so in any case, wifely duties sometimes is not like I don't know what's happening in this world. It's crazy. Women, even when I hear the radio and I'm listening, I'm like, what is that? I'm like, why is all the women sounding, getting deeper and deeper and more? There ain't no sweet women. There's no feminine women. I'm a stallion. That's a fucking man. I mean, a male horse.
So like I said,
go ahead.
They watch, they seen the woman, the Woman King, that movie, The Woman King, and the matriarchy and all that. That's what they want to replicate right now.
Now, the Woman King, wasn't that about the people of Dahomey capturing Israelites?
That's exactly what it was about.
Yeah, those are Hamites. In Roots, if you ever watch Roots, when Kunta Kinte got captured, it wasn't no white people. It was some Hamites that was capturing him. You know what I mean? They, you know what I'm saying? In Ghana, they had castles already built. The white people didn't build them. The Africans built them. That's how Africans got them kings, got all that money. You know what I mean? But yeah, you listen, and then you listen to the male rappers, they sounded like a version of their mother. I'm D-Lo. What's that guy's name?
Boss Man D-Lo.
Yeah.
Just off full of rice. I'm name in the bathroom. Go and get some grits and eggs. Go hand to the bathroom. Go clean up the kitchen. Probably be the boss.
I'm like, what is that? What is that? What happened to Just Ice? What happened to DMX? What happened to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what happened to the men? What are we looking up to now? It's coming to a head, but I'm glad because we can't go any further. Right. We already got men dressing like women trying to grow beards. I know, like, it's crazy. You have to know this is the last day. This is the best time to get up in the ISUPK under Commander Junior Hunter. Cause we can't go get no more wicked than this. Well, what's next? Pedophilia is going to be legalized, right? Because they was born that way. The same argument. You know, law cases is based on previous cases, right? So you used to keep, I like men because I was born this way. Now you got to use that for guys who like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So eventually, like, the beautiful thing about being in the truth is that we see the beginning and we see the end in this book, and everything that was prophesied happened, right? Everything that was written in the book happened, and everything that's happening today was written. And what's going to happen tomorrow, what come after, we already see what's going to happen. Gloriousness for the children of Israel, those that's on the bottom, those that's been oppressed, those that's under arrest. The Bureau of Prison going to have to be demolished. That's the most wickedest institution. Fuck the Bureau of Prison, for real. You know what I mean? You ain't correcting nobody, helping nobody, man. It's a cesspool. You know what I mean? Corruptness. Yeah, my brothers, yeah, we got issues, but you ain't making it no better than they. You know what I mean? We come out worse. You know what I mean? And I would love to just be the voice for them brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to be the voice for my ancestors that don't have a right to speak, don't have a option to speak. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine getting a mic for the first time. You know what I mean? As a slave who was called nigger and called boy. But you a mechanic, or you could a carpenter, you could build, you could do so many wonderful things, but yet they call you a nigger. Emmett Till. You know what I mean? They call him a nigger. Medgar Evers. They call him a nigger. All my people, unknown people that perish at the hands of white oppression. Yeah, Commander Junior Hunter told us to speak up, cry loud, and spare not. Yeah, we're going to speak for our people. We always going to defend the fatherless and the motherless. You know what I'm saying? That's my time. This is Officer Iraq of the ISUPK. We're going to end it. And with that, I'm going to pass the class to Precinct Officer Hawan. Clap it up. Turn that camera. Shout out to Sister Patty. Sister Patty in the chat, in the class. Sisters Abawada, Sapayar, Matana, and everybody else, man. The water for coming to the class. Shalom.
Security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior Hunter. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you is to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. Feast of First Fruits, June 8th. Yeah, We're still in the Feast of First Fruits. It'll be held. The closing will be held on June 8th, 2025. All Akim and Al-Wathim Check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all blacks, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, or scarf. And with that, Imagine. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Majim Bat. Majim. Rock. Yah Bashim Yah Shabrakatah.
Yo, Bashim, yo, Shabarakatham.
Majim Patak. Class dismissed.